Danielle here for my second video. I've decided to do a January TBR even though it's already the 6th. But I just wanted to explain a little bit of how I'm going to do my TBRs every month. So I mentioned in my first video that I do want to branch out and start reading things besides fantasy. So I thought the best way to do that would be to ask my parents for book recommendations every month, because they both read, but not fantasy really. So I got one recommendation from my mom and one recommendation from my dad, and I feel like I should do that every month to see if I find anything good. So, and then the rest are kind of just fantasy and sci-fi and whatever I feel like adding. And then I'm going to use my big box of books, which is kind of like a TBR jar. It's full of books that I have that I haven't read yet, so that'll be fun. I think I'm only going to pick one from there this month though, because I already have like 10 and some of them are halfway done, but I don't want to overdo it. So let me get into it. So this video is not super long. The first book is the one my mom recommended, which is a classic. So it's Lord of the Flies by William Golding. I don't really know much about this book, and the back of it just says what an amazing book for its time it was. So I know it has to do with jungle or something. I really don't know. But my mom's always loved this book, so she recommended that I read it. Yeah, I'm not sure. I heard it's creepy, but I don't know. I've heard mixed things on it. So, but I'm excited. I think I'll probably like it. The second book is the one my dad recommended, so Clan of the Cave Bear by Jean M. I don't know how to say that. Aul? No idea. It was written in like the 80s, I think. It's about a little girl who... It's about a clan of cavemen, basically. This is like the beginning of time kind of stuff. So far I've read about 100 pages and I actually don't really like it, so I might DNF that book, which means my dad loses this month. But I'm going to give it a little bit more. It's just really slow. All it really does is explain everything that the clan of the Cave Bear, they use a lot of. It's really interesting because it kind of tells you how they survived, but it's also too much info dumpy for me, so I'm not sure if I'll finish it or not, but we'll see. Third book is King of Thorns by Mark Lawrence, which I really loved. Prince of Thorns, which is the first book in the series, I think the Broken Empire series. It's about a prince. It kind of goes back and forth between when he was 10 and current where he's 14. And this book kind of taught me that I could read a book where I hate the main character and still be fascinated about reading about them. So the main character is pretty fucked up. He's pretty messed up. So the main character is pretty messed up, but I still like it a lot. I don't know. It's just dark, very dark fantasy. It's a book that I would be scared to recommend to too many people because it's so violent, but I really enjoyed the first one and I can't wait to get to this one. I've actually already started. I'm like probably a fourth of the way through so far, so yep. And the next one I'm reading is Shallow Graves by Callie Wallace. So this is a standalone young adult novel, which I don't usually read standalone that often. This is one of the ones I mentioned, but I'm over halfway done with this novel. The reason I stopped reading it was because I just don't see how she can wrap everything up in one book. I feel like it's the beginning of a series, but it's about a girl who wakes up in a shallow grave a year after she's been murdered. She doesn't really remember what happened or who killed her, and then she has the ability to detect if people are like murderers, I guess. And then there's other kind of urban fantasy elements going on with other paranormal creatures. That's all I really remember. I'm going to finish that one this month because I'm starting to forget a little bit what it's about. And that's the same case with the next book that I'm going to talk about, which is Storm Dancer by J. Kristoff. So I know a lot of people have read J. Kristoff already, but I just recently started, so I kind of wanted to start at the beginning. And I was interested in this one because it was advertised as like Japanese steampunk, which sounded a lot different than anything I've read recently. The beginning, the reason I haven't finished this one is because the beginning was so, it was a lot of work, there was a lot of world building that I just got a little bored, to be honest, but once it picks up, it's really good, because I kind of like, I know some people think it's tropey, but like the whole mythical creature bonding kind of, I don't know if that's really, it's not really a trope, but it's like, I don't know, I really like that, and that's kind of what happens in this with a thunder tiger, so yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing it, and I think I'll definitely pick up the next one because it's a 3-book series, and now that the world's kind of already explained, I'm not as bored anymore, which it is an interesting world. There was just a lot of description. It was too much for me, but the next 2 books I'm the most excited about. So this book is the second book in, I don't even know what this series is called, A Darker Shade of Magic, I guess, but this one's A Gathering of Shadows, so it's the second book by V.E. Schwab in the series, which I really enjoyed the first book. I just read that last month, I think, and it was one of my favorite books last year. These books are about different versions of London, so one of the main characters is an Antari, so he can transfer between like Black London, Grey London, Red London, and White London, or something like that, and each London is a little different. Like one's full of magic, one's kind of like our London and stuff like that. And one's been kind of eaten away by magic. And then there's another character, which is like a wannabe pirate girl who's kind of cool. I'm not sure if I like her yet. I think I do, but one minute she seems kind of awesome, and the next I'm not sure. So, but I really love the theme of this book, and I'd really like to see more of some of their characters that they were part of this first book, but they weren't in it as much. But if anyone's read this, which I think a lot of people have, which I don't know why I said that, but the first book has Kale and his brother Rye or something like that. And I'd really like to see more of Rye. I liked their whole bonding. I liked how much the main character cared about his brother, is what I'm trying to say. The first one, next, which is the last of my physical copy books that I'm reading this week, is the Lumine by, so this is another one by J. Kristoff, but it's also by Amy Kaufman. So it has 2 authors, and everyone pretty much knows what this book is already. That's on BookTube. That's where I heard about it from. So this was kind of my last book that I bought last year for 2018, but I didn't get to read it. I think this was going to go really fast because I started it while I was waiting in the car, and I already got like a fourth of the way through. So, and the way that it's written is really unique. So it's about, like, I don't really know, honestly. It's about a spaceship and a planet being attacked and mega corporations, or I don't know, but I really like it so far. It's pretty cool, and I really want to read more sci-fi. Oopsie. I really want to read more sci-fi this year, so that'll be a good one. And then I have 2 more. I have 2 audiobooks that I'm reading, and then I'm gonna pick one out of the big book full of books. So one of the audiobooks that I'm reading this year is the first book in, so it's after the Greaser trilogy. I can't remember what the author's name is right now. 6 of Crows, Leigh Bardugo. I haven't read those, but I've been hearing about them for years, so I need to read those. I need to hurry up. I liked the Grisha. I didn't love it, but I've heard a lot. I've heard that 6 of Crows and Crooked Kingdom are better than the Grisha series. We'll see. I don't know, but I have the audiobook. It's been hard for me to get into, so I might just buy it. I don't know, but we'll see. I think it's a heist novel, and I love that because it's always exciting, like heists. Just heist stories always excite me, so we'll see. And magic heist, especially with the Grisha, could be pretty sweet. And then my other audiobook is the 3rd book in the Mistborn series, which I started like 2 years ago, and I've slowly been listening to it, but for some odd reason I had no issue with the narrator in the first 2 books, but he just started to become really monotone for me for some characters, and it bugged me. And I don't know, like, I really loved the first Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, but the second one was a little meh, and then the third one was picking up, and then it started going a little slower. And I know that Brandon Sanderson has amazing endings to a lot of his series, but sometimes I get annoyed when they rely too much on the reveal at the end. So I'm thinking I'll still enjoy it, and I love Brandon Sanderson, so we'll see. And then I'm gonna do 1 book out of the big box of books, the big book full of books. I think I got these from Hobby Lobby. They're so pretty, kind of birdies. And then most of the books in here. So I think I had like 100 books that I own that I haven't read, but only like 20 physical books, and then most of them are either Audible or ebooks. So I might get a really bad book out of here if it's ebook, because some of the books that I own are like 99 cents or free. The first one's free, so like self-published, and it could be terrible. It might be good, but we'll see. So let's do this. I hope I don't get something terribly long, because yeah. Oh, that's kind of perfect. So Skyward, Brandon Sanderson, and this one is special. I'll show you why. I'll show you why it's special. Because it's signed. Yeah, he came to California when I was visiting my mom, so I got to meet him. It was pretty sweet. And I haven't read it yet, so awesome. I'm excited. This is about a girl, from what I know, it's about a girl whose planet's being attacked all the time by, I don't know, it's a sci-fi, so I really don't know much about it other than she wants to fight too, I guess, or something, and something about her father has a bad reputation, so it's hurting her. I don't really know, but it's the first sci-fi that Brandon Sanderson has written, I think, but I really don't know. I've heard Elantris might be sci-fi a little bit, but I've never read it. So I have a lot of Brandon Sanderson to get to this year, because I've only read about 4 of his books, but I love him. Like, how can I read only 4 of his books and still love him? Like, I haven't read his Stormlight Archives either, because I can't stand waiting for sequels, so I know that book's gonna be 10, so I was like waiting for like as long as I can, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna read at least 1 of them this year, maybe 2. We'll see. I heard once you start, it's hard to stop with the Stormlight Archives, because it's like his best work. So yeah. Well, thank you for watching, and wish me luck. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention one more thing. So another thing I'm going to do with my TBR and my book hauls, so I'm not going to buy any books this year. Well, I'm going to buy books, but I'm not going to buy any until I lose weight. So the whole 100 bucks, 100 pounds that I'm doing for my channel, sorry, I got distracted. I'm going to base it on weight loss. So since I have so many books right now that I haven't read, I'm going to get through some of them first. So my first book haul won't be until about 3 or 4 months after. So I'll base it on like 5 pounds, I get a book, okay? So I'm going to keep adding it up. At the end of the month, I'll add how much weight I've lost, and say I lost 15 pounds in 2 months. Then I'll get 3 books, okay? So, or something like that. So I'm going to keep doing that. And then at the end of the 3 or 4 month period, I'll add all that up and say I lost 30 pounds. Then I'll get, whatever, 6 books. So I don't want to buy too many books. I think 5 pounds is good. So for every 5 pounds, I get to buy a book or whatever. So, yep. Alright, thank you for watching, and